What is the most inoffensive thing you've seen someone get offended by? Using a walking stick. I was in a car accident a few years ago and it fucked my leg up. Since then I've been using a walking stick. I was walking to shop, pre-pandemic, and an old bloke gave me the dirtiest look I've ever seen. "What do you need a cane for? You're only a kid." He actually got quite pissy just seeing me using a stick. Like, my dude, I'm just out trying to buy some milk, I don't need your shit today. I didn't say that out loud, I just said it to myself after I got home. People like that are the reason my partner doesn't like going out. He's had a few operations on his back and needs his stick as one of his legs has been left weaker than the other. He's had someone try and take his stick as he is walking, I nearly battered them. What the actual fuck? I can't comprehend how some people think. Why on earth would you ever take away someone's walking stick or wheelchair or crutches or whatever? Even if they're faking it, which they most likely are not doing, how does that even benefit you at all? Why even do that? I do not understand. Maybe 22 years ago, I had a phone interview with a baking company. I didn't care to have my peers know what I was up to, so I took the call on my cell phone in my car. The call was crystal clear and no technical issues. At one point, they had mentioned the weather and asked how it was where I was. I told him that I was sitting in my car and I could see that it was actively snowing and whatnot. The interviewer asked me, "Are you taking this call on a cell phone?" I told him I was. Then he asked me if I thought that was appropriate. I asked him what he meant by that. He said he thought it was kind of rude to take a formal call on a cell phone. I told him I would be more than happy to conclude the interview if talking on a cell phone was an issue. If he was interested, I'd be happy to continue it the next day when I'd be at a desk. He again repeated how rude he thought it was that I had called from a cell phone and that there was no need to continue the interview process. I disagreed with the first point but did agree with the second. To this day, I wonder what the hell he was talking about and where he was coming from. Wow, way to stamp "I am an aging worker who refuses to keep up with technology" on his forehead. Only thing I can guess is the possibility of a dropped call, but like you said, it was completely clear. A fucking picture of an eye. We have an organization-wide theme every year and all the PCs on our network have the same background and theme which can't be changed. So this year's theme is Vision is 2020 and the background was a zoomed-in picture of an eye in really awesome colors. Two women on staff wrote letters to complain that the picture was heathen as it drew from Illuminati imagery and paid tribute to the all-seeing eye of Egyptian deities. They whined and complained to such an extent that the picture was eventually changed to shut them up and let the normal folks get back to our actual work. They probably saw a post from someone with, for example, autism or deafness who is perfectly happy having a condition that the broader society views as a disability and wouldn't change themselves if they had the option. And then applied a blanket statement of all disabilities are great and you should love them, without applying any critical thinking whatsoever. I bring up autism and deafness, disclaimer, neither of which I have, because those are the two communities that I've personally seen saying things like, "Hey, this condition we have that everyone thinks is so awful and tragic really isn't, and if you give us reasonable accommodations we'll be fine." I think it's really important to listen to people when they say stuff like that and not promote the idea that anyone with, insert disability of choice, would have been better off not being born or something, because that can be so damaging and unhelpful. But there are a lot of disabilities that just straight up fucking suck, like all of the time. Try going up to a person with fibromyalgia and telling them that they should love their literal chronic pain disease TM and that it's ableist to wish there was a cure for it. Yeah, that'll go over well. I have depression and it sucks enough that I'm willing to let people zap my brain with electricity in order to make it go away. There's literally nothing good about depression or anxiety, whereas there are many positive or, not even good or bad, just neutral aspects to being deaf or autistic that make it so that many people don't mind or even like/love being the way they are. Not to mention that a person with a disability saying that they don't like having their disability isn't ableist, it's their right to express that. Sorry for going on a mini rant, basically I agree with you lol. I had a co-worker who got mad at me because I asked her not to tickle me. A. That's inappropriate at work. B. We're not children, we're not in a relationship, we're not family. C. I don't like being tickled. She flipped out and said everyone likes being tickled and I was being mean to her. Happily my boss had my back. Edit, this happened over a decade ago, I don't work with that woman or for that company. In fact, even the company doesn't exist anymore. I am also a woman. The coworker was very young and immature. This was her first job, her first time in a professional environment, and she really had no clue about professional workplace behavior. I wasn't upset because she truly thought she was being friendly. But I still don't like being tickled. Had someone get offended by me calling my brother bro? They insisted that I was racist and that white people can't be related to Mexicans. Like seriously lady. That's not how genetics work. We are 100% related and are a mix of white and Native American. It's not that unheard of for one biological sibling to come out lighter or darker than the other. And even if we weren't related. Seriously? I'm racist for calling someone close to me my bro despite being different skin tones? Seriously? Thank you for coming to my rant session. Have a good day. My sister and I have Brazilian parents, but our skin tones are hilariously different. There's me, who's stayed a pale ghosty white, despite actually being able to tan if I tried long enough, bordering on simple facial features and looks more like my dad's side of the family, but my sister has the tanned Hispanic look with Latina supermodel skin and looks more like our mom's side. If we stand next to each other, people wonder how we're related. To someone else, basically I'm white and she's Mexican. This. Professor Greg Patton at the University of Southern California, USC, was telling students in a communications lecture last month about filler, or pause words, such as more you know in English. Footage of his lecture, which has now gone viral, shows Professor Patton saying, in China, the common pause word is that. So in China, it might be na ge, na ge, na ge. Enunciated, na ge sounds like the N-word, which led several of the professor's students to complain to the university. Responding to the complaint, the dean of the university, Jeffrey Garrett, told students that Professor Patton would no longer be teaching the course. It is simply unacceptable for the faculty to use words in class that can marginalize, hurt and harm the psychological safety of our students, he said. The university says that Professor Patton volunteered to step away from his role amid the investigation into complaints made against him. This is the stupidest thing to get offended over that I've seen in quite a while. And damaging to actual cases of racist terminology being used inappropriately. Typing in someone's phone number to activate their rewards card. Finished typing it in, found her name, proceeded with the transaction and said, "You're good to go." The woman replied with, "What is THETSUPPA said to me and she gave me a fiery glare as if I just kicked her toddler across the store. It means, I found your information. You'll get your points." The woman, "Oh. Okay then." I still can't figure out why she flipped out like that. It was a rewards card, she got her points and she got her discount. What? It's specific to France. In French we have a way to address for a man, monsieur, a married woman, madame, an unmarried woman, mademoiselle, and we used to have one for an unmarried man, mademoiselle, which disappeared from official paperwork since I don't even know when. In the name of gender equality, mademoiselle was also removed a few years ago from official paperwork. Also in the name of gender equality some employee were told to not call young women mademoiselle anymore and to go with madam. So the trick is, some women will get offended when called madam because it makes them feel old and some women will get offended when called mademoiselle because it's sexist. Clerks are doomed. I still remember in kindergarten when my friend and I were reading all the colors out loud on one of those Crayola super packs. I got straight up yelled at and sent to the principal's office for saying orange pizzazz because the teacher said I called someone a pissass and would not listen despite having the crayon as evidence. After a 30 minutes scolding and waiting for my mom to leave work to pick me up for my suspension, she came in all apologetic. When I explained to her the whole situation, not the school's side, Ma went apeshit. I'd heard her say shit once, that's the only swear I ever heard from her, and we had just been rear-ended in traffic. How about cunt? Can he say cunt? 'Cause you're all being cunts right now. This is fucking ridiculous. And just went off while I'm sitting there all amused and the principal is just red AF. I got unsuspended on the spot, but she pulled me out of school for the day anyway. We had a lovely day and she explained very well how I shouldn't swear like that unless absolutely necessary and I've exhausted all civility. When being civil simply isn't working, sometimes you might have to call someone a pissass. The next day at school, I learned that I now had the stigma of being the kid who got the Crayola super pack taken away frown. At my job, we often move around from desk to desk. One guy left his desk with a small fan, and my neighbor would point the fan at his desk. A new person came and sat at the desk with the fan, and rearranged everything to her liking. After she went home the first day, my neighbor pointed the fan back at his desk. When she came in the following day, she saw the fan was pointed away from her chair. She loudly asked the room if someone had been interfering with her workspace. My neighbor apologized and took responsibility for it, but reminded her that it was not her fan, It belonged to the former desk occupant. She went ballistic. My neighbor was disrespecting her and her space and creating a hostile environment, and she went to the floor supervisor and demanded a new seating assignment. When she packed up her desk, she took the fan. She eventually got a seat alone in a quiet private space, so that worked out nicely for her. She had gotten into almost the exact same fight in her last seating area, and had been moved into our area to soothe her.